You just heard the ninth home run of the season hit by former Razorback outfielder and now current Chicago White Sox outfielder Andew Benitendi. He'll join us here on halftime right now, and a pleasant good morning to you, Benny. How you doing today?
Good. How are y'all doing?
We're doing great. We really appreciate your time here in Arkansas. Obviously, it's the middle of the baseball season for you. It is the end of the baseball season, well, a little more than a week after the end of the baseball season for the Razorbacks. Great season here in Arkansas. Benny, do you get a chance to watch much of the Razorbacks while you're going throughout the college season?
Not too much during the season. I just feel like, obviously it's a lot of games to keep up with, but definitely in the postseason, the regional, the super regional, and obviously the College World Series. Yes. So when that time comes around, I definitely tune in.
It's got to bring back some memories, watching the postseason this year. They did the same thing that you guys did in 15, although they went on the road. You guys went on the road. They sweep through a regional, end up at home, take care of Tennessee 2 in a row. When you watch them play in regionals, super regionals, and then in Omaha, that has to bring back just some amazing memories. And, even though you got a world championship with the Boston Red Sox, I know your time at Arkansas in that 2015 season still has to stand apart in what you guys accomplished that year.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to imagine that it was, 10 years ago. But yeah, I mean, looking back to that season, it was incredible. I think a lot of us going into it, may not have necessarily thought we'd make it to the College World Series, but that team was so tight knit. Still keeping contact with a lot of guys. We just had our 10-year reunion this past off season down in Fayetteville, which was great. And it's like nobody skipped a beat. But yeah, no, it was so much fun. It's hard to imagine it. It sounds weird saying it was 10 years ago, but
I know.
Those relationships, are still the same as they were back then.
A lot's happened in these last 10 years, huh? I mean, you got to the big leagues really quickly. It was in that first full year of pro ball, and here it is. It's 9 years after that, and you're one of the elder statesmen on this White Sox team. How have you when you signed with Chicago, obviously, I don't think you were expecting that there would be a rebuild, but that's what's going on right now. They're showing some signs, and outside of obviously wanting to perform at your best on the field, how do you see your role with this franchise right now, as you've been in the big leagues for 9 years?
Yeah. When I signed here, it was a little different. I mean, they had a lot of guys who had, won in the past, and it was a little bit older of a team. And then they sold at the deadline of my first year, and yeah, that's when the rebuild started. So there's definitely signs of, good things to come here in Chicago. I mean, there's a lot of talent still coming up through the minor leagues. A lot of them have already made their debuts. So, the future is pretty bright here, I think. And, there's definitely a lot of talent. There's still guys, like I said, there's a couple, left-handed pitchers down the minor leagues right now that I think could impact the game right now. One of them being Hagen Smith. And, it's just a matter of time before they get up here and start doing what they do. So, being here, I mean, obviously it's been tough the last few years, but trying to take it for what it is. Great group of guys right now. The past few years, it's been unbelievable. It's one thing to, be on a team who, we lose, last year 121 games, but the clubhouse was great. The guys were great. We made the best of it. But the future here, I think, is going to be a lot better here soon.
You mentioned Hagen. I feel Hagen is sort of part of the brotherhood of the Golden Spikes winners. He didn't win the award, but he was National Pitcher of the Year. You think of these last 10 years and the awards, the individual awards that have come through the program. You've got the Golden Spikes, Kevin Kopps, Golden Spikes, Hagen, as we just mentioned, National Pitcher of the Year, now Vahiva. This is an amazing brotherhood. And you think of the success that this program has had, really all the time going back to when Norm first started coaching in 1970. But these are the Golden Spikes National Pitcher of the Year awards, and it's happened in these last 10 years. And you were the first one to accomplish that. There's a brotherhood when you win these awards, when you have that kind of a season and the spotlight's on you. And what does that mean to you? Not just the award that you won, but it kind of started something at Arkansas too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it means a lot. I feel like, especially back when I was in, college, it might not have been as, hyped as it is today, which was perfect with me. But yeah, I mean, it's basically the Heisman of football. So I mean, it's definitely something that I think in the moment when it was happening, I didn't really realize it. And now that time has passed, I think it's something I've appreciated a little bit more. And yeah, it definitely is a brotherhood with us three guys. I mean, I think, Bobby Wernis, he put us in a group text about, a couple days ago, and it's kind of cool to have, we were all texting back and forth. So it's cool to have their numbers and just kind of check in. And, I'll definitely be saving those numbers and then text them in the future. But, yeah, no, I mean, Arkansas's built an amazing program. I mean, I think, as I was getting recruited in high school, I remember my dad telling me, like, oh, we got to go down to Arkansas. And I was like, oh, I don't want to make this trip, blah, blah, blah. And I pulled in there and learned about the program. And then once we left, I was like, this is the place I'm going to go. I mean, I would have committed right there on the spot. But Fayetteville is amazing. I think, as a player, you want to play at a place that has a winning culture, great people that are running the program, which Arkansas obviously has. And, and obviously the fans, I mean, they show up. You're playing in front of, 8,000 fans a night. So it's definitely a desirable place. And, I can't, be more appreciative of my time that I spent there.
I'll bet. I know. And it was so quick as well, but obviously it made such a big impact upon you. And, I think of baseball towns. I think you play in a great baseball town in Chicago. Your first big league team, Boston, one of the best. You come from a great baseball town in Cincinnati, too. Omaha, that's a great baseball town for college baseball specifically. But Fayetteville's a great baseball town, too, Benny. And I don't know if people ever view it that way, but it's really become such an amazing baseball town. And I wonder, the atmosphere at those games is unlike anything I've seen. Do you ever experience an atmosphere at a major league game that kind of feels like the craziness of what Razorback games were like kind of that the Missouri State Super Regional, an LSU home series? Do you ever feel like that at the big leagues, or does it feel different between big league crowds and your crowd in Fayetteville?
There's some similarities and there's obviously differences. I think, you mentioned like playing against LSU at home or that Super Regional at home. That's a completely different feeling than, I'll say the only thing that kind of maybe compares to it a little bit is the playing in Boston when the Yankees come to town. Like that's the only thing I can imagine, but it's also different. I think that the support you get as a player is incredible when you're in Fayetteville, and the feeling it's just like you'll do anything it takes to win for those fans, and the support, the cheering, there's no comparing that, I don't think, in the big leagues than what it is in Arkansas. So it was awesome. I was trying to think back and just I think I get more appreciative every year that I play in the big leagues of how special it was playing in Fayetteville, playing for those fans, for Coach Van Horn. It is unbelievable, and I think that it's definitely different, but there's some similarities, but it's tough to beat for sure.
You played for great coaches at Arkansas, and I think one you just mentioned, and then there was Tony Vitello, who obviously was the hitting coach and maybe one of the main guys that recruited you to Fayetteville. What did you feel you learned under those two men? Because those are two of the best head coaches, obviously, Tony now, in the sport, and Dave has been for 30 years.
Yeah, there's a lot to learn. Obviously when you get to college, you're pretty green and you really don't know what to expect. But one thing I'll say is that when I got to Arkansas, you can feel it right off the bat is like you expect to win, and if you don't win, guess what? That's a failure. Coach Van Horn obviously has been doing this for a long time. He's been great. There's no one I want to see win a College World Series more than that guy. And the bar he sets for the players is, at least in my time, and I can imagine it being the same as now, but it's super high. So that you understand when you go play for him that this is, if we make the College World Series, great. If we don't win it all, that's not a good year. And again, like I said, there's nobody who deserves a College World Series more than that guy. And then Vitello too, yeah. So it's funny now because I I'm pretty close with Tony now, especially. We live in the same building in the off season in Nashville, so I stay in contact with him a lot. But didn't know much about him when he came over, and obviously if he was this young, pretty energetic guy, so kind of took to him well, and then obviously he's done great things at Tennessee. But those are I couldn't have lucked out more playing for those two guys. Two of the best in the game right now. So something I'm definitely thankful for.
I know we'll let you go in about 3 or 4 minutes. So home is Nashville now. When did you move to Nashville, and how much time do you spend there? And are you a big country music fan?
Oh, huge country music fan. Yeah, I moved to Nashville at I think it was the start of 2018 or end of 2017. So I've been down there for since then. But it's gotten crazy. It's the traffic, man. It's kind of turning into like Chicago right now. You get to about 3, 4 o'clock. It's like you better be on the road before that. But I love country music. The vibe down there is incredible. It's only 4 hours from Cincinnati, so we're obviously where I'm from. So it's a good little getaway.
Cincinnati's still a great baseball town. Just, haven't had a team in the series since 1990, but I still feel like it's one of the great baseball towns in the country. What was your feeling when Pete Rose was made eligible for the Hall of Fame now? Because that's a huge deal across the country, but in no more place than Cincinnati is that topic top of mind.
For sure, yeah. And we actually had the chance. We were in Cincinnati in mid-May, so I got to go home. And actually, when I think we were in Cincinnati when they made that decision that they were going to unban him or whatever it is. So, for Cincinnati, that's huge. I think you see Cincinnati fans, and regardless of whether, he was eligible or not for the Hall of Fame, like the fans are wearing Pete Rose stuff no matter what. Hometown guy playing for the Reds, over 4,000 hits, which is never going to be beaten in my opinion. It's incredible. So I think for Cincinnati, that means a lot. What he brought to Cincinnati, what he means to all the fans and for the Reds. I think that's good for Cincinnati for sure. So usually I stay away from these kind of topics, unbelievable player. I don't think that there was a game that went by where that guy didn't give it his all. I think it's good for the game, and I'm sure there's going to be some people that don't agree with it, which is completely fine. But I think for Cincinnati especially, it means a whole lot.
Well, he's as much of a hero to Cincinnati as anybody is to any of the other cities. Thinking Tony Gwynn to San Diego, things like that. And Benny, I think people still feel the same way about you, not just in Fayetteville, but all across Arkansas. You'd even mention about how there just feels like there's more of a spotlight on college baseball in these last 10 years. And there really is. Mm-hmm. You're part of the reason why there's such a big spotlight in Arkansas for that. It's not just Fayetteville, it's the entire state. We hope we can get you to come back at some point. I know time is always scarce because you got to worry about spring training when the season's starting. But whenever you get a chance to come back to Baum, I'll tell you, it looks different than when you were last there.
Oh, yeah, no, that's what so this offseason was the first time I've been back probably in 6 years, and my goodness, that place is unbelievable. I can't even imagine, where it can go from there. But that place is right. It's immaculate. If I was a recruit, I don't think there's a better place to go to. The fans show up, obviously, like over 8,000 a game. The facilities, though, that's something I got a chance to walk through the weight room, the locker room, which is completely different from when I was there, and it was nice. It was one of the best then. So, I'll definitely be back. I look forward to that time. When I finally hang them up at some point, Baum Stadium is going to be one of the first places I go and watch a Razorback game.
BetOnline continues to be your number one source for all your sports betting action. And with baseball in full swing and football season right around the corner, BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, and scores, even live in-game betting. From MLB, UFC to tennis and NFL futures, BetOnline remains your choice for sports wagering information. In between games, head over to the BetOnline Casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. Head to the website today and take advantage of their industry-leading VIP program with level-up bonuses and weekly cash boosts. Bet Online. The game starts here.